We are tonight's entertainment.
You can't handle the truth.
The fire rises.
Pizza time.
You're a wizard, Harry.
So it begins.
You know how much I sacrifice?
You think that's air you're breathing?
Groovy.
I don't have friends. I got family.
We are Sex People! 1, 2, 3, 4!
Craft Services.
Hey, Trent.
Hi, Parth.
It's good to see you.
You too, man. We have a film podcast.
We have a film podcast. We haven't seen each other in a little bit.
No, it's nice nice to sit and laugh with you.
It's nice to hear your dulcet tones.
Sorry, my attendance on the pod has been a little scarce.
Spotty.
Yes. It's
But
like...
it's okay, because you're here now.
Yeah, that's true, but it's like AMC stubs. It's like when you're unemployed, you're like, oh my god, I can go see 4 movies a week. That's crazy. And then you like actually get a job and you're like, I can't even see 1 movie a week. And you're like, what am I doing with my life? And I'm currently, I want to say it on the air, not a Stubs member.
Trent, this is...
It's the worst thing about me. I paid $20 to see this movie. And
Wow.
And I enjoyed my time, happy to support and give my money to the box office. But yeah, didn't feel good. What have you been eating, though?
Oh, it's interesting that you ask. I'm currently at my familia's home because my dad had a work trip to Ireland, and my mom decided that, hey, why don't I just come to Ireland? Because like the company's getting a room anyways. I can just stay with you too. So they and my dad's gone to Ireland like 10 times before for work, but this is the first time that she's ever gone. And so my parents requested that I stay at home to watch over my brother. So it's just been the two of us hanging out. You know, he goes to high school. I do work from home, and then we chill. We watch Impractical Jokers. We did that last night.
Yeah, all parents must take the pilgrimage to Ireland at some point. My parents
At
did
some
that.
point.
I heard someone say that whereas like men have Tokyo, women have Ireland.
Interesting. I didn't. I mean, the Tokyo thing is just very true for men
And very cliche. Yeah.
I didn't know that Ireland was the female equivalent of that.
I was at an event for work the other day for the Real Housewives of New York, and one of the Impractical Jokers was there. Would you like to guess which one?
Can I? Where was it?
This might give it away. It was at a sort of like dog charity event.
Oh, that doesn't actually give it away for me.
I guess you don't know the Jokers as well as I do.
I don't. I'm a recent convert to the Jokers. Sophia, I think we talked about this on a previous episode, but Sophia one day put on like a best of compilation on YouTube, and I was dying laughing, and she was like, I guess you should watch the real show then. So we would watch it on Hulu, but it wasn't a show that I watched as a kid, unlike many of my compatriots.
No, it's a pretty funny show. I've probably seen, embarrassingly, every episode from like seasons 1 through 8, and now they're on like 10 or 11 or something. It's still going.
I think they're on like 12.
Yeah, they're down to 3 Jokers. The Joker who I saw was the one who left, Joe
Was it
Gatto.
Joe?
And then there was also a guy who like was either like the best Stanley Tucci doppelganger out there, or it was Stanley Tucci.
I feel like it's probably Tucci then, right? He lives in New York, right?
It was hard. It's hard to say. Like there were people like debating this hard throughout the night, and like very passionate on both sides.
Is it Stanley Tucci or just a bald man?
Yeah, a bald man with glasses. I feel as though another fun debate at work, and it's topical because of the movies and the Michael movie that's out right now. My whole algorithm is the fucking Michael movie, and it's like I have no interest. So I feel like it's like a government psyop.
Yeah, well, Trent, I've seen the Michael movie, and it's fine if you don't see the Michael movie.
I want to see it just out of like morbid curiosity, but the funny thing I want to share is that like if you want to incite an argument among a group of people, like a group of reasonable people who you all think are like smart and cool and have like a relatively high opinion of, ask them if they think Michael Jackson did anything wrong, because you will be shocked by the range of responses. And the amount of people telling you that the 6-hour HBO Max doc is like fake news.
Michael Jackson did some things that were not very good. I think we can all agree on that on this pod. But what was very good was the chai that I made for myself this morning. And I made it for myself, friend of the show, Sophia Alexis, and my brother, also friend of the show, Viraj Marathe. And when Sophia had it, she said, "This is really good tea." Just putting it out there. What about you, Trent? You opened the Zoom call right before we recorded. You said, "I haven't eaten anything, so what the fuck do you want me to do about that?" I was like, whoa, just say what you had last.
You're paraphrasing. But Parth, you do make a good cup of tea. Let's stop and let me give you your flowers. I slept over after your birthday party, and waking up the next morning with the nice, like holding it like SpongeBob with two hands, like, and sipping it. It feels really, it's a good way to start the day. But if I have to go back to last night, I worked at a Phillies game on Tuesday for like this like MLB thing, and they were supposed to like provide. They said there was going to be a walking lunch, which I've never heard of before, which means like you don't get to sit down for lunch.
Yeah.
You have to eat it while working, which would have been crazy, but it didn't end up being that. But they meant to buy me one cheesesteak, and they bought 3 accidentally, and so I tucked those away, and I've been slowly eating them.
That's great.
Yeah, it is.
That's legitimately great.
Oh, good. I'm glad it wasn't sarcastic. Yeah, and it was like from the Phillies game, so it's like where you're supposed to get a good cheesesteak from.
Mm-hmm.
And they like sat in like the hot car for probably like 6 or 7 hours.
Oh, God.
And I told this to someone else, and he's like, "You're not going to eat those, are you?" And I was like, "You're damn right I'm going to eat these. Like, these are going to be my sustenance for the next week." And here's the thing, Parth. I never get sick. Or like I get sick. But
I think we talked about this the last time you were on the pod, which is... People get really crazy about how long you can leave food out.
I think it's like expiration dates. There's like a little bit of a lie there, you know?
Yeah. Well, you may have gotten 3 cheesesteaks when you should have gotten 1, but the audience is getting 2 episodes for the price of 1.
For the price of 1 interview.
So
that we only...
to get there, I think we need to cue the intro.
Welcome back to Craft Services, where we talk about the movies. Each week we talk about a film and hopefully have a crew member of that film to talk with us about their experience working on the picture this week. Parth.
We've got production designer Francesca Di Mottola, production designer of Mother Mary. Anne Hathaway, she's having quite a year, Trent.
Speaking of people I've seen at work recently, they just saw Martha Stewart. Well, like we shot with Martha Stewart, and the other day they were eating lunch, and Anne Hathaway and her kids were eating right next to them at the restaurant.
Wow.
At like, and I won't say which, but at just like a very normal restaurant, and she was chilling reading to her kids, and I was like, "Go Anne Hathaway."
I've heard very nice things about Anne Hathaway.
While we're on the topic of Anne Hathaway, Mother Mary, saw it, enjoyed it, loved the production design. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to be at the interview. Parth held down the fort like he usually does.
I would say part 1 was fantastic, but part 2, maybe even more fantastic.
Is magnificent.
The last one was sort of the Fantastic Four, but this one's sort of the Magnificent Seven. You know
which is like a better word and a higher number.
Exactly, so you know it's better. Bigger is better, as Trent will tell you. But yeah, the interview was a really good time. Francesca, really great production designer. She gets into her work on music videos and stuff that she's working on, and I think that this is a pretty cool interview, Trent, and you haven't been there, so this might be the time for you to just sit back, sit your ass down.
I'm sitting. I'm listening. Let's do it.
Let's cue the interview. You also have like a lot of experience working on music videos, just looking at your IMDb. Did that play into this in any way, or was that sort of working on a different muscle entirely?
No, I think it wasn't entirely working on a different muscle. I think I have a real love for music and live performance in general. So and what I bring from music videos is just exploring. I think what I love about music videos is that it's got a freedom in terms of art form and it's like, obviously it's a short format, but you're often like testing techniques that you wouldn't normally use in film. And often also working with very low budgets. So I think that is an exercise that is always useful when working. You never have enough budget. So working on smaller budget projects is interesting. But I think more than just doing music videos is my love for the live experience really that I brought with me. But I think that, yes, when I interviewed with David, he definitely was interested in the fact that I had experience with musicians and music videos. So I think that he took that into account for sure. I think it helped a little bit when I went on to do The Moment, although I was working with Charlie's creative director and creative team, but like having had some experience with Mother Mary and then going on to that and then going back to, do you know what I mean? Like, I think that.
Oh, was The Moment shot between both sections?
No, it wasn't. It was shot after.
Okay.
I'm now confused because Charlie wrote the songs part of the songs for Mother Mary. So Charlie was collaborating on Mother Mary. And then I did a movie in Paris where Charlie had a small role. And then I went on to The Moment. So like these 3 different Charlie moments keep overlapping.
So you and Charlie XCX are like best buds now. So
I'd love to keep collaborating with her. She's a force of nature for sure.
And you brought up the Eras tour as sort of a big reference point. Was that like the main one, or were there other sort of looks that you feel were sort of important to creating the look?
This is a difficult one to answer because I mean, we were looking so much at also like Es Devlin's work, who's a designer that I absolutely admire and love her work and live performance. And so we were looking at Kanye West's, huge tours. Like there were so many, obviously Lady Gaga's also, but even going back to Madonna's amazing concerts. So as I said, like my files are so endless. I think some of Dua Lipa's shows came into like, but ultimately, and then even looking at FKA Twigs as an artist, not necessarily her live performance, but just as the way, her artistic practice as a whole, I think was a really interesting reference. And so interesting when she then joined the movie as an actor. That was like, it was again like another meta moment because it was like, okay, she went from being a reference to actually being in the movie. So that was super interesting. I absolutely love her Cellophane music video, which actually Fiona Cromie designed, who you've spoken to.
Yeah, former guest of the show.
Yeah, exactly. I love visually that music video. And I think because Mother Mary became more and more abstract visually, I think that then going away from all our references and going more into the abstract world and then implementing the beams as part of the set design in the concert, the wooden beam structure, which then becomes light structure in the concert, was just so was as abstract as we could get. And so I think like everything that was part of my research was there as part of, in my memory somehow stored, but I let go of quite easily in a way to add something that felt more part of the movie. And so the opening of the movie, Mother Mary is standing behind doors that are they the doors of the barn or are they screens, and then they open and you are in the concert? But yes, they are doors from the barn that we recreated and actually built on the concert set. So that's all done practically. So you've got those, although the doors of the barn open outwards and those slide, but there is a reference to a place that you haven't yet seen in the movie, which is what ultimately I found really interesting about the design. It sort of allowed you to go back and forwards in time, with the stables being always the connective architectural tissue.
If we're getting into a little bit more spoilery, not too bad, but there is like a red spirit. I don't quite know what to call it. And I, in thinking about it, didn't know, does that fall under production design, or is that costume, or is that I have no idea what exactly that would be. So were you a part of designing that and like creating whatever that was on set?
I was definitely part of the discussion of what that entity, spirit, being could be. Had it been more of a monster creature and had it been more of a proper like creature design, I probably would have been more like involved in the sketching of it. But it very quickly took a more sort of organic and airy approach to and really airy because woman, as it's defined in the script, red woman, which is, is it a ghost? Is it a spirit? Is it an idea? As we spoke about what it could be, and materially what it could be, I think David knew that it wanted to feel like fabric, and so have a lightness of the material that we ended up using, which is organza. So he knew it wanted it to at some points resemble fabric, but not necessarily be like, oh, look, the spirit is fabric. So it's not as simple as that. It's got a hint. Is it fabric? Is it air? Is it, what is it? And so, but because I think of the lightness he wanted it to have, David himself, or it wasn't me, we found the artist, Daniel, and I'll have to come back to you on his surname because I'm having a blur now, he works with organza. Most of his art form and performance is using organza and fans. So he has a whole structure of fans. So then when he got involved in the project, we were still part, like the costume designer and myself, and we were all involved in the conversation. But then the actual creating of the Red Woman as such was then he took over, because I should know his name. But there you go. And that was actually shot separately in the States. So I didn't actually get to collaborate with him closely, which is a shame. But I mean, it's just there were so many people involved in shooting the Red Woman. Of course, also the VFX team were really heavily involved. So it did get taken away somehow from the actual design team. But let's say we were all involved in, I think, conceptualizing what it could be.
Sure.
So that was really fun.
It was a big team effort.
Yeah, because it's so abstract also,
Right. So as we sort of start to close out, we always like to ask, what was the most difficult part of the movie, and what was the part of the movie that you're most proud of? It could be a specific set, a specific prop, or whatever. But just in totality, what was most difficult, and what are you most proud of?
I think what was most difficult was during prep, how we found ourselves struggling to find our dream locations. And so seeing that all our prep time was, lost somehow to the search of the perfect location, until when there was a moment in which we decided to change the approach. And David rewrote the script to sort of match the new approach, which was having the barn as a location and then building most of the other sets. So whilst we were, in the initial phase of prep, for weeks, we were looking for a hotel room that was big enough where we could do a seance, that we could change enough to make it ours, redress it. And so that went on for weeks. So I think that feeling of the comfort of the creative prep slipping by because of us not finding a location was really difficult to deal with. And then the moment when there was the resolution of okay, actually, we can build a dressing room, we can build a hotel suite, and it's going to add so much to the approach of the movie. And as much as obviously we were always going to build the concert sets, but we can build the backstage. We don't need to be in a real backstage arena. And so there's that one set, which is a tracking shot of Mother Mary walking, finishing one of her songs and then walking along this backstage and meeting Imogen. That's all that was part of our more abstract theatrical approach. So, and that ties with what I'm most proud of. I think one of my favorite sets is the hotel suite where the seance takes place, which is this 3-walled set, which is declared as a 3-wall set because you approach it and you see Mother Mary and Sam approaching it. And so you see the perimeters of the set, so to speak. And I just love how the theatrical approach then sort of comes into movie making and how that blends in. I find quite seamlessly, I hope. So that's the bit that I think I'm most proud of, how we, and then we were allowed to bring some sets within the stables. And so those are memories that seem to appear within the barn, but they're actually built within the barn. So you've got Sam's bedroom where the red woman, the red spirit first appears. That's an actually 3-walled set within the stable. So I just love sort of merging all those sets. That was a lot of fun.
Is there something from this experience that you'll take on with you to future films, or something you learned that you think is going to apply to other films in your career?
From designing Mother Mary.
From Mother Mary, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Overall, I think it's something that every movie teaches you. There's always a moment where you're like doubting that you can pull it off, and that a change of approach, it can make it or break it, and so I think that sort of moments of doubt, I think having, from my point of view, I'm really pleased with how the movie turned out and how it looks and how and what we got out of it. And so I think what I'll take with me is a sort of reassurance that every movie, most movies at least I've worked on, have a moment in which you're terrified and you think, oh my God, this is could turn out to be a disaster, and actually, just trust the process. And when the collaborations are great and you have great head of departments and artists that you're working with, and amazing, obviously, actors and a great script, that something will always turn out really interesting. I think this is like a reassurance that I want to take with me. And the other thing I will take with me is great collaborations. I had such an amazing collaboration with the set deck team. I mentioned Lottie Sana before, her assistant Harriet Annabelle. We're working together on this current project. I think like every project, you sort of are reminded how collaborations are so important. And I think that's what I love about this form of art, is that this art form is that so much can change due to ideas that can come from anywhere, that can be a moment in which you're enlightened with an idea, or someone says something and it makes you. So, I mean, it's very generic, I guess, my response. But yeah, if I'm thinking of my 2 years working on that movie and making it happen, yes, I think overall, it's the feeling of trust the process.
Are you working on anything you can talk about?
I'm in very early stages of a period movie. So I'm just starting. I've been a few weeks into the prep process for my new movie, which is a period movie. And can't say too much about it, but we are in that phase where we're looking for the perfect location. It's proving really hard to find. And so who knows where it's going to end up. Having a theatrical approach also, I don't think so. It's not that kind of movie, but yeah, it's an interesting phase where I think we're having to make those decisions, which will then, impact the look of the movie quite strongly. So it's quite a bit of a scary moment, but also exciting.
Sure. And then our last question, our big kahuna final question is, what's the last great movie you watched? And it can be a rewatch or a first-time watch, but it can't just be good. It has to be great.
It has to be amazing. There's a few. Yeah,
I mean, you can. It doesn't have to just be one. If you want to give a list, we've accepted that in the past.
Okay, so in prepping of this next movie I'm working on, I rewatched a movie called Gaslight.
Yeah, a great movie.
There's a few Gaslights, by the way. There's one that I watched, and actually it was David Lowery and Augustine Frizzell. They presented it in London. They did the whole marathon movie night, and they showed one of the Gaslights. But this one is with Ingrid Bergman, Isabella Rossellini's mum, and I just thought it was absolutely fantastic. And obviously also understanding where the terminology gaslight comes from. It sort of is so clarifying, but it's so of the period and so beautifully shot, and everything about it, the sets, the details, the acting were absolutely outstanding. So I loved that. Difficult movie today to talk about, but I rewatched Gone with the Wind also in prep for this one movie, and amazing sets. I just can't get over like the way they approached building sets at that time. Like I find it fascinating. And then maybe I'll get back to you because I've got a whole list going.
Well, great. Thank you so much, Francesca Di Mottola, production designer behind such films like The Moment, The Gallerist, and our film for this week, David Lowery's Mother Mary. Make sure to go check it out in a theater near you. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you, Parth. Thank you so much. Really enjoyed the chat.
Parth, in real time, I just listened to the interview really fast. I just want to say you and Francesca did a great job.
I don't mean to brag, but I think that was a pretty cool interview.
Don't brag too much, because like I wasn't there, so like don't make it a whole thing. Don't like go inviting Bash to be the co-host. But
Producer Bash.
Yeah, Producer Bash, we love you, but like watch yourself. But Francesca, thank you so much for coming on. Great.
Yeah, we really appreciated your time. We
great,
had a
great
great
work
time
on the film.
Yeah, it was super cool to talk with her. She's worked on some cool things, and we hope she couldn't reveal too much about what she's working on, but we hope that whatever she's working on next, she'll come on the show for.
Yeah, she worked on another really cool movie that I want to see, The Moment. Parth, were you able to see that?
I was not able to see that, but she does talk a bit about Charlie XCX in the interview, as you would know, Trent, because you just listened to it. And I wonder if if there's another XCX project on the horizon for her. But
Parth,
even if it's not, I'm sure it's something cool.
She's an it girl. Francesca is an it girl. The two of us, it girls. So it's like that we all have to travel as a pack.
All together, we're it women when you think about it.
Yes.
It's just so great that Francesca came on the show, because the show's frankly available wherever you get your podcasts: Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Pandora, etc. Trent, if the audience wants to be updated on when these episodes are coming out,
there's a few things you can do. You can head over on to Instagram, head over on to Twitter, and head on over to YouTube. Craft Services.
Trent, our 2025 episodes are starting to come onto YouTube.
Craft Services on YouTube? What? Huh? Yeah. It just keeps getting better, folks. It's like you can teach an old dog new tricks. You can change as a podcast after 6 years.
There's no, you know how in Air Bud there's no rule that a dog can't play basketball or something like that?
I haven't seen Air Bud, but that does seem like something that would be right up my alley, like late at night.
There's no rule that a pod can't be on YouTube, Trent.
The pods are on fucking Netflix now.
Look, it is what it is, but look, Francesca was a great guest, and Trent, we can't reveal too much about our next guest because it hasn't happened yet, but it's pretty exciting. If I don't want to jinx it, but if the interview happens, this would be a
big fish.
This would be a big fish, yeah.
A big fish in a small room.
Mm-hmm. Yep. It's a role that we have not interviewed too much of. We're trying
only one or two. A few.
3 technically.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's we're used to talking to a certain kind of role, and this is someone that we don't usually get to talk to. So it's super cool if it does get to happen, and we can't wait for you guys to hear what's up.
Can I say? All right, we'll be talking to stunt performer Jackie Chan.
Stunt performer Tom Cruise.
Imagine.
I know.
How much of his time do you think we could get? Like 5 minutes?
Genuinely 2 minutes. Like really not, like we could ask him one question, I think.
Yeah.
If at all.
What would it be?
Do you like movies?
No, Parth. Do you like me?
I love you.
Do you
love me back?
Yeah, just hand him a note, and it's like, I like you. Do you like me? Check yes or no.
Mm-hmm. No, I don't. I hope we can get Bruce on the pod one day, but until that day, we're just gonna work up to it with stunt performer Jackie Chan.
So we'll be back next week with stunt performer Jackie Chan. Thank you so much. Go watch Mother Mary. It's still
in
playing.
Go check it out.
Go
Sophia
check
just
it
saw
out.
it a few days ago.
All right, Jackie Chan next week. Be there, be square.
Bye, guys.
Bye.